Is the United Kingdom broken? I would say yes. Here's a story of a pro-life Christian activist that was arrested and charged quite a substantial amount of money because she did the heinous crime of holding up a sign wanting to talk to anyone who is going to have an abortion in a buffer zone. The United Kingdom has laws that you cannot either affirm or not affirm abortion in these buffer zones, which is about 100 or 200 meters from the entrance of where abortions happen. Let's give this story a listen.
An anti-abortion activist has been found guilty of breaching a clinic safe zone in the south of England. It's a case that's caught the attention of the US government over free speech concerns. 64-year-old Livia Tossici-Bolt is the leader of a branch of the US Christian group 40 Days for Life. She was found guilty on Friday for breaching an abortion clinic's buffer zone in the southern town of Bournemouth on 2 days in March 2023. The buffer zone was introduced a year prior amid concerns that women who attended the clinic were being subjected to harassment and intimidation. The anti-abortion campaigner held a sign saying, "Here to talk if you want," outside the clinic.
This is a dark day for Great Britain. I was not protesting, nor did I harass, intimidate, or obstruct anyone. All I did was offering consensual conversation in a public space.
A judge ruled the activist was not lawfully exercising her right to freedom of expression. The case comes amid growing accusations in the US of infringements on free speech in Britain.
These radical and ridiculous laws clearly violate freedom of speech, and it's caught the attention of the United States government. Now, many people were upset with J.D. Vance in his speech where he attacked the EU and the United Kingdom for their lack of free speech. Now, I'm not saying that you have to agree with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance on everything, but on this topic, they are right. Let's give J.D. a listen.
And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law.
Beyond politics, what kind of country that claims to be Christian and certainly has Christian roots? In fact, the great heroes of the Protestant faith, many of them had their roots in England, does not allow to have a conversation about abortion. The Christian position is clear, and you can't change it, because as soon as you change it, you're against Christian teaching in the Bible. So the Christian teaching is clear that abortion and euthanasia is murder, and thus it is sin. And what kind of country prevents people from hearing a position that stops people, children in the womb, from being murdered? We are witnessing what Jesus talked about in Matthew 24 about the end times. Matthew 24 verses 9 to 12. They will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death, and you'll be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will fall away and betray one another and hate one another, and many false prophets will arise, and there's lots of those in the United Kingdom and North American churches, and they'll lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. And what we see happening in the United Kingdom, European Union, and North America is hatred of Christianity. And it's in essence a hatred of Jesus. They hate Christians because they not only stand for Jesus, but they stand for the truths of Jesus Christ. We see many people falling away, and hatred will be rampant. We have false prophets in the rise, so much so that we have preachers in the United Kingdom and North America that openly endorse and say that abortion is holy. We have lawlessness. And this is why abortion and euthanasia is being protected in Canada and United Kingdom. We see serious lawlessness in the land. And it says there, the love of many will grow cold. People's love for the Lord in culture is minimal. And we're seeing this in the United Kingdom, European Union, and North America. I pray for this woman. She is a bold and blessed saint. All she was trying to do was show compassion to someone that was going to make a horrific decision. But we are witnessing the downfall of the United Kingdom and North America right before our eyes. But the media is trying to tell us that there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. These are just radicalists that are speaking up for the sanctity of life. But Jesus gives the Christian a very great promise as we enter into what we call the last days, and we don't know when Christ is going to come in the last days, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. That's a wonderful promise. Those who persevere to the end will be saved. There's a wonderful promise in that. The salvation of our souls. And when Jesus saves you, he saves you by grace. There's nothing that you can do to save yourself. He saved you by going to the cross and bearing the judgment of God in your place. But his grace also keeps you to the end. And Jesus exhorts you to keep pressing on to the end. Persevere with the Lord to his glory. No matter what the culture says, Jesus promises the world will hate us. But Christians, stay firm to Christ till the end. Thanks for watching, and God bless.